Don't laugh. Seriously, do not laugh. It is not funny. The smell inside the quarantine bay was a suffocating mix of wet fur, raw meat, and chemical sanitizer. My talons were twitching so badly I could barely keep my claws wrapped around the heavy observation console. I am Sorkin, lead zoological researcher for the Thalassian Corps. I am supposed to be an expert on galactic apex fauna. I have spent 30 cycles cataloging the galaxy's most lethal predators, classifying them by bite force, territorial aggression, and multi-generational spreadsheets of danger metrics. I thought I understood the exact laws of biological dominance. Our military council had brought a juvenile apex predator to this research outpost. It was a juvenile shadowstalker from a level 6 Deathworld. Even at only 4 months old, it was the size of a fully grown Imperial Guard. It had 6 legs, hide thick enough to deflect minor kinetic energy rounds, and a mouth full of curved, jagged teeth designed to crush armor plating like dry autumn leaves. It was meant to be the future of our biological vanguard. Then the human engineer came into the room. His name was Marcus. He wasn't a soldier. He was just a tattered, grease-stained mechanic we had hired to fix the subsurface environmental pumps. He had a smudge of dark engine oil across his forehead and wore a frayed canvas shirt with the sleeves rolled up, exposing soft, pink, unarmored skin. He had absolutely zero biological defense metrics. No armor plating, no venom sacs, nothing. The junior predator was loose in the main tracking pen, testing its limits, tearing apart synthetic hunting dummies to sharpen its fangs. It was highly aggressive. When Marcus stepped into the enclosure to check a loose hydraulic pipe on the back wall, the juvenile beast froze. Its 4 yellow eyes narrowed, locking onto the human's soft frame. It lowered its heavy chest until its belly fur scraped the steel floorboards. It was tensing its powerful hind legs. It was practicing a stalking routine. "Marcus, get out of there!" I screamed through the primary comms channel, my hands slamming onto the emergency lockdown button. The predator is entering an active predatory play cycle. It will sever your primary arteries. The beast didn't wait. It surged forward, its claws clicking sharply against the metal, and threw its massive weight directly at Marcus. It opened its jaws and let out a high-pitched, throat-shredding roar. It was a sound designed by evolutionary nature to paralyze prey, a biological frequency that makes your knees turn to water. The human didn't run. He didn't drop his wrench or beg the security officers to activate the localized plasma dampeners. Instead, well, he did something that completely shattered our entire scientific doctrine. Marcus didn't even drop his tools. He just stood his ground, spread his legs wide to anchor his weight against the floorboards, took a deep, heavy breath that expanded his chest, and leaned his face directly into the predator's wide-open jaws. And then, he roared back. He didn't just yell. He let out a deep, bass-heavy, chest-vibrating boom that sounded like an engine block tearing itself apart. It was raw. It was unrefined. It was a primal, booming explosion of pure Terran volume that completely filled the acoustic chamber of the quarantine bay. The air shifted. The acoustic vibrations hit the observation glass so hard the frame hissed. The predator cub didn't bite. It stopped mid-air, its momentum completely dying as the sheer volume of the human's voice literally hit it like a physical shockwave. The beast's eyes went wide, its primary ears pinned back flat against its bone-white skull, and its 6 legs completely tangled together. It lost its footing entirely. It slid across the slick floorboards, tripped over its own massive paws, and fell flat on its side with a heavy, ungraceful thud. All caps for emphasis cannot describe the absolute, paralyzing disbelief that choked our entire research team right then. We expected to see a gruesome anatomical liquidation. We expected to be hosing the dark red human blood out of the drains by the afternoon. Instead, the terrifying engine of biological warfare was lying on its back, its heavy white belly exposed to the ceiling, its massive front paws curling into the air like a common domestic pet, and its heavy, thick tail? It started thumping against the floorboards. Thump, thump, thump. It was wagging. The creature was wagging its tail so hard the metal walls were vibrating. Marcus stopped roaring. He wiped a stray splatter of predator drool from his cheek with the back of his dirty sleeve, shook his head, and let out a soft, wheezing chuckle that sounded completely natural. "Yeah, you think you're big and tough, don't you?" Marcus muttered, his voice dropping into a soft, melodic rhythm as he stepped closer to the fallen beast. He didn't look at it like a level 6 Deathworld threat. He looked at it like an annoying neighbor's young animal. He reached down his soft, completely fragile hand moving right past those rows of curved teeth, and buried his fingers deep into the thick, coarse fur beneath the predator's chin. He began to scratch it using rough, heavy circles. The beast, it let out a bizarre, high-pitched whining sound. Its long, black tongue slithered out of its mouth, completely painting the human's boots in wet slime. It began to twist its massive body in the dirt, trying to get closer to the human's hand, its heavy tail rhythmically smacking the console till the screen blurred. Our primary research coordinator stood next to me, his data pad slipping from his talons and shattering into pieces on the floorboards. "Run the simulation again," he whispered, his voice cracking with pure panic. "How is the human controlling the neurological synapses of the target? What frequency was that acoustic attack?" "It wasn't an attack, sir," I said, my scales going completely cold as I watched the human rub the predator's stomach. He was playing with it. He established dominance by being louder. Alien logic says that when an apex predator challenges you, you use technology, you use a spreadsheet of tactical distances, or you submit to the natural hierarchy of the food chain. But humans? Their evolutionary history is born from a world where they didn't have claws, so they had to make up for it with sheer, unadulterated psychological audacity. They don't just run from monsters. They look at a killing machine, decide its vocalizations are cute, and then scream louder just to show the universe who really owns the room. The primary coordinator is currently typing a frantic message to the High Imperial Council, recommending we cancel the entire biological warfare project. He's terrified. We all are. Because if a lone, tattered human engineer can neutralize our ultimate planetary weapon with nothing but his bare lungs and a chin scratch, our entire military empire means absolutely nothing. So, next time you think about deploying a bioengineered predator against a Terran colony and your tactical computers tell you the humans are defenseless, don't wait for the drop ships to open. Just run.